Streaming. And here we go. All right, we're live, and it is August 2018, Health, Wealth, and Happiness Monthly Mastery. We got the stream going, it's showing it's good. Got Facebook on. We are ready to crush it today. Got a lot in store for us in the next hour. Big part of this, for whatever reason, a lot of people, even myself, coming off vacation, getting ready for school, for the kids, all these kind of things, have reported higher levels of feeling sad. A couple people actually depressed, unfocused, just trying to figure out how to get more energy. Like they're feeling lower in energy. Maybe it's the summer doldrums, whatever that would be. Nonetheless, today is all about setting sensation for how we want to feel each day, setting the idea of what we want to sense each day. A lot of what we teach in high performance is going to be in part of this conversation today. So that being said, I say we go ahead and get started. How about you? We're going to start on the big screen, and this is how this kind of rolls out. What we do is we start big picture. It's really important that we have some sort of foundation or basis that sets the tone for exactly what we're trying to go after in life, what our ambitions are. So we're going to start big picture. We're going to do that through the life assessment. If you don't have it, go to bit.ly/monthlyhealth and click on My Life Assessment. You'll get that PDF. And it's 7 areas we're going to rate yourself on to see how you're doing. They're very ambitious areas in life. So I really want to make sure we're right out of the gate here. We're talking about what's possible and dreaming big and setting some kind of basis, some outline for what that looks like. Does that sound good? Second of all, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. So many people are like, dude, I need to be in on this training. So if you're watching the replay or you're watching this live, thank you so incredibly much for being here. It's my honor to do this, to honor the struggle, but also go after bringing the joy, big themes in high performance as we teach it, and then really set tones and strategies for how we can do that with more consistency, more directed. Does that sound good? Big part is big picture. That's how we're going to start. We'll also be going over those 10 needle movers. Then we're going to dive into our training. Specific things that I've got on the whiteboard here that will help you make shift immediately. And then finally, we're going to talk about tactics. My dream for you is after today's training, the moment we wrap up, you have specific things, I'm getting chills just telling you this, that help you feel better, that help you feel your best. And maybe you're not going to feel your best right out of the gate, but that work, that ladder to feeling your best. So if you're in a downward spiral right now, if you're feeling levels of sadness, depression, guilt, frustration, all of these kind of things, our job together today is to work those up so that you feel content, happy, joyous, like you're really moving forward, like the sun's shining, the day's bright, even if it's not bright or shining where you're at, maybe it's raining, whatever it is, that we've set that goal for you to really go after that sunny, bright day, at least mentally. Cool? So these 3 elements really forward the conversation. And of course, they're all built on adult learning theory. We start big picture, we work into specific things that help you, just new ideas, new thoughts, and then specific tactics that hold you accountable for it, that really get things rolling for you. Does that sound good? I hope so. Next up, I want to make sure that to get the most out of our time together, there's no distractions. Here's what I know. If you got buzzers, beepers, other people around, put some headphones on, get some earbuds in, just concentrate on what we're talking about. I would not want you to be robbed of that one thing you need to hear, that one thought, that one ambition, that one way of being that could really help you excel in your life and or in your business because you were distracted. So my challenge for you is to just clear the plate. If you're on your phone or you're on a laptop, take it into a room that's quiet, or if you're driving along, wherever it is for you, just really concentrate on what's going on. Second, take notes. If you're in a place that you can, take some notes. Star the things you have questions about. Be sure to comment, either in the replay or here live, wherever you're at, and let me know, because I'll be reviewing those and really helping you out. If you comment, I'll be able to reply to that after the filming today so that you can get your answer or direction. A lot of times I'm like, oh, that's a good question, and I film a video for you answering it. But I also know that a lot of other people might have that question too. So I challenge you to always ask. Always ask. People who ask for help move across life faster towards their ambitions. Love that? Very powerful. Next up, be open and vulnerable. This is a trick for a lot of people who aren't from that place, who aren't geared that way. They haven't been role modeled that way. Like, for example, when I grew up, talking to my grandpa, for example, it was a matter of, Gramps, how you feel? He'd grunt the answers. I'm all right. And now I know. And maybe it's a sign of the times too. The more explicit, communicative we are, the more we feel better. So that's a big part of this whole journey together today. And I hope you're loving what we've covered so far. Just these little nuances that can help you really crush your day. Have the best weekend possible. Does that sound good? I know I'm up for it. Whoever's ready to party tonight, if you're in Southwest Florida, let me know because we'll be out partying. My buddy Matt and I are going to go out and doing some partying. And I'd love for you to join us if you're up for it. But I'm going to be bringing the energy, so you might want to be careful. Love, love, love being able to serve you here, now, be in this moment with you. But also look forward to things that really bring connectedness, aliveness, joy. So if you're in a place right now where it's not a lot of joy, not a lot of happiness, depressed, unfocused, whatever that is for you, we're going to aim to change that for you. My job on this beautiful planet is to help you, to care for you, to love on you, to support you, to challenge you, to really step that into that. And I may be the only person, I've been told this by others, that is that guiding light, that person who listens without judgment. And I'm cool with that. That's my job here. I don't know what it took for me. I do kind of know what it took for me. But it took me a long time to get there. To really be, you know what? No matter what people say, it doesn't bother me. I'm here to support you, champion you on, care for you. And I realize a lot of people just don't have that in their lives. Life circumstance, the way things have worked out, whatever that is. So if you know somebody right now who needs to hear this message, share this with them. If you're on Facebook, comment their name below. We're going to go over things today that may be the one thing they need to hear. If you're in the replay, let me know. I will give you the link for this training so that you can give it to others, because I know how powerful this can be for so many. I don't know if I've ever told you this story. My cousin Jean, great friend, amazing role model in many ways of my life, about 10 years ago, committed suicide about 4 miles from here. And I look back, I did for a while have regret that I didn't do enough. But the reality of it was, I'm not sure of anything else I could have done, because I really, in my opinion, with what I had been blessed with at the time, not the tools and everything that I've gotten through coaching, I think I did everything that I could. But I feel like there's a lot of people on the edge right now, just with the way the world is, the pressures of things that are going on, that need to hear a positive message. They need to be inspired, they need to be helped, but they also need to know that other people have their back, that they aren't alone. And that's a big part of this journey with you and I. And I take it so incredibly seriously. Really, really important to me that I'm helping you. You get it? So thanks so much for letting me do this. As we talk about here, open and vulnerability is a huge piece to this. So if you're not going to be open with anybody else, at least be open with me. If you don't want to do it in a public context and put in a comment, cool. Private message me. Let me know. That's totally fine. I just want to make sure I've got things that I can do to help you. We can have a conversation, whatever that looks like for you. That being said, next, please participate. Kind of goes along with what we've just were talking about. If you have something that can help others, if you have anything that you've created, for example, or if you have a link to something, link it. Link it in the comments. I love to help others. I link a lot to what's called the tail end. And it's a really wonderful little blog post that talks about how by the time our children are at the end of high school, they've spent 93% of the time they're going to spend with us together physically. And when I read that 2 years ago and I read that every year, I was like, oh, I got to create experiences with my girls. You've probably seen on Facebook, the Switzerland trip. Amazing time together, but very conscious about the tail end. So really, really important. I got that from a event I was in. Somebody posted it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So participation can help others big time. Next, we're all here to help you. The people in our mastery community, this community we've created together, the life and business mastery community, very high caliber around helping others. That's like our theme. And we're here to help you in life and business or whatever shows up. And that's the magic of how that works out. So what's next? Our first step, fireworks, please. Perspective. So that being said, get your life assessment out and let's roll through this. I'm going to read these statements to you. If you don't have it, that's cool. Just note. Get your notes out, write down your rating. If it's below an 8, then it's time for you to tell me, hey, you know what? Here's something I can do, perhaps to level that up. That doesn't make sense to you? Let's go through the first one. You'll see how that kind of all pieces together. Cool? Let's do this. First, now, with where you're at today in life, would love for you to consider this. If you want to shut your eyes while I read it to you and just kind of visualize, let's take a deep breath. Kind of visualize where you're at right now. That's totally cool too. Here we go. I am where I thought I'd be at this point in my life. Overall, I'm living into the best version of myself for me, those I love and care for, and the world. So let me read that again. I am where I thought I'd be at this point in my life. Overall, I'm living into the best version of myself for me, those I love and care for, and the world. What's showing up for you there? Is that a 2 out of 10, meaning you don't agree with that at all or hardly? Is that a 10 out of a 10? I'm crushing life, buzzing, feeling alive, fulfilled, zestful, owning everything, swinging like Tarzan on a rope of purpose throughout the day. One purposeful thing to another. What shows up for you there? I'd love to hear. Comment below with your rating. I do reward for participation. So if you comment below and you kind of do some of the things we ask, I might send you a treat. Got a couple treats right down here too. I'll be showing to you in a little bit. So I'd love to see, what is it for you with that? Next, my best self. Overall, I feel healthy, happy, and energized. My energy levels are consistent throughout the day and even sustain into the evenings until I wind down for bed. That's a big one, isn't it? I feel healthy, happy, and energized. My energy levels are consistent throughout the day and even sustain into evenings until I wind down for bed. How are you doing there? 0, yeah, not happening at all. I'm living into my worst self. 10, owning it. What's showing up for you? Our goal in the context of what we're doing right now is just to call out a couple things that, you know what, can do better there. Not to overwhelm you, but just pick one thing today that you're going to, you know what, in the next week I'm going to concentrate doing that. We're going to talk a lot about that in our training a little bit, how to kind of go after things without feeling overwhelmed, to bring that clarity. So what's showing up for you here? 0 to 10. Something's coming up for you. Share it. I'd love to hear. Next, my relationships. I work diligently to create, build, and maintain great relationships with those around me. I feel I'm a good role model for my loved ones, those close to me, and the world. I consistently, there's that word again, listen well, show compassion for myself and others, and, as we talked about at the beginning of our session today, communicate my thoughts and feelings. How you feeling about that one? Oh, that's a tall order, isn't it? And it's not a rating per statement. It's an overall rating. How are you doing there? 0? Yeah, what relationships? I don't have a good relationship with myself. And if you're in that place, that's totally cool. But I want to challenge you to step out of that place. And I want to be the guy that may direct you, help you. And that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit here in the training aspect. How? How do I step out of that place? So cool. If that's where you're at, that's fine. But we're going to work to get out of that place. Cool? That's our job together. Next, stress, overwhelm, and clarity. These are terms that show up for so many people in the last week. As I started this session today, I talked about that. Lots and lots of people have reported they're feeling a lot of stress and overwhelm. A lot of parents have their kids going back to school. They're trying to get the last awesomeness out of summer and get prepped for school and all that. Then they lack clarity too. So here's the statement to rate yourself on. I have great stress management practices in my life. When I do get stressed, I know exactly what to do to reduce or remove stress from my life. And finally, I typically do not feel overwhelmed or distracted because I have clarity of who I am and what I should be doing every day. That's a tall order, isn't it? So what is that for you? How are you doing here, right now in your life? 0, Yeah, stress is my name. 10, clarity is my name. Stress, who is that? What's showing up for you there? If it's below an 8, think of one thing you can do to level that up. One way in the next day, this afternoon, to take better care of yourself. Does it mean going to the spa, going to the beach, going swimming? Just taking a walk, touching nature, smelling flowers, whatever it is, put it in play in your life. That's your challenge. So many people don't take care of themselves and then they wonder why they're burnt out and they're frustrated and they're angry with others. This is a big part of it. Having great stress management practices in your life. Next up, my career mission. The work I do in the world is meaningful to me. I believe I'm consistent about living in alignment with what the best use of me, my passions, and my talents are. How you doing there? 0, I hate my work. Blah. 10, every day I'm helping others. I'm helping people from where they're at to where they want to be. And I realize most people don't know where they want to be, so I'm here to help them realize what's possible. And if that sounds familiar to you, that's my purpose statement. A part of my purpose statement is to help you from where you're at to where you want to be, realizing you may not be thinking big enough to go after that ambition. And you may not be in a place right now where you have an ambition. You may be in a place right now where you're just spinning and it's feeling crappy. And my job is to stop the spin, start the spiral up, and really go after that for you. So let me know if there's anything I can do, direct you towards, help you with, especially in light of today's topic. I just want you to know I'm here. I'm here to really help you. You know, on the trip in Switzerland, we did a lot of walking. And I was getting real clear as I was walking. You know, you get reflective, smelling that crisp, clean pine air as we're hiking. Some cases, 30,000 steps a day. Holy moly, that was a lot. But I was realizing, you know what? I have to double down on making sure you know I'm here to help you. And I got tons of tools, processes, things you can read, things you can listen to, things you can watch to do that. But you have to let me know. You have to. Please let me know. Comment, private message me, email me, whatever that is. What can I do to help you right now in light of this? We'll be talking a lot about this in Business Internet Mastery today, the 9 needle movers I use every day to check to make sure I'm living into this. So I can't wait for that. That's at noon today Eastern if you're in the Livecast with us. Next up, my hobbies and passions. I know and understand the importance of having hobbies to help me continually connect with my creative and self-expressive side. I'm consistent about nurturing my hobbies and passions. You see this theme happening here? Consistency, rolling on through all of these items. That's the part. You know, you go on vacation like I did for a couple weeks and really enjoy it. And you get back and you're like, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, I'm supposed to be eating healthy? Oh, I'm supposed to be exercising? What was that all about? How do I do that? You kind of forget. The highest performers, on the other hand, like me, on the airplane ride back, we're reassessing, re-engaging. Here's the things I need to do daily. Here's the things I need to do situationally. Here's the things I need to do weekly to assure I'm living to my best self. I'm not forgetting anything. Literally have a standard operating procedure for life. So let me ask you this. Do you have written somewhere a standard operating procedure for life, for you? Where you're like, you know what, on a day-to-day basis, here's what I need to be doing, feeling, sensing. Here's what I need to be doing on a weekly basis to check in to make sure I'm on the right track. If you don't have that, let me know because I can help you. I've got these needle movers, the daily, situational, monthly, quarterly, yearly. I think I got them all. Needle movers, and they're all in checklists. So I never have to worry and I don't feel overwhelmed. You follow? So powerful. It's just an easy thing to do. And it's not something you typically create in a minute. Create it over time. What's the best of me every week? What's the best of me every day? You know? And you just create a little checklist. That's it. It's really the essence of it. But it comes along this line. Hobbies and passions are on the checklist. So for me, hobbies and passions, walking, playing games, video games specifically, card games too, those kind of things. What are some of your hobbies and passions? Next, my life's ambitions. Now, this is a big one. So let's take a minute. Breathe it out. Shut your eyes. Just listen to this one. Rate yourself on it. Cool? If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have any regrets. I've lived a life where I've paid attention to and taken action on my life's ambitions. At least once a year, I reevaluate my life's ambitions and schedule time for them. So I don't know if you remember, but back in January of this year, I had a big 11 by 17 sheet of paper. And on it, we drew words like Switzerland, tennis, date night, and all these ambitions for how we wanted to live free and fun in 2018. And I have to tell you, we're 2/3 of the way through the year, and we've been checking off most of them. But I got that out to go through journaling tomorrow to really get the rest of those suckers checked. That's a big part of this. I want to go through 2018 living free and fun, but also serving you, taking care of you in life, in business, online, whatever facet that is and how I serve for you, or all three. But that's a big part of this. So this presumes that you have life's ambitions, and if you don't, get out a sheet of paper, put at the top my life's ambitions, and just start writing. Sometimes people think of that like a bucket list, right? A bucket list. What do I want to do before I can't? Maybe not passing away per se, but health-wise, can't travel. I know people who are in that boat right now. They're like, I wanted to do so much more, but they didn't take action on it. I'll get to that someday. So what is that for you? So if something's showing up for you, share it. Whatever your rating is here, share it. Even in the replay, let me know if you're below an 8, what you're going to do to level that up a little bit. And if you need help or direction on how I approach this, you want to see my needle movers, let me know that too. I'll give you a screenshot of how that actually looks. Does that sound good? Okay, let's jump right into the next piece. Well, you know what? I got to rate myself first. Getting a little ambitious. For me, right now, 8+. I'm living into what I know I'm supposed to be doing, and that's tricky coming out of vacation because sometimes we get sidetracked. But like I said, I was priming myself to own that. My best self, 7. I realized I need more time to get back on track after vacation. Ugh, that consistency piece, falling off a little bit. Next, stress, overwhelm, and clarity, a 10. Very clear on what I'm supposed to be doing. Today was setting this up. Today was a pure joy to be here with you. I'm just loving it. I'm like, okay, I got to get my waters, got to get all this set up, got it all engineered. I'm fully present for you, knowing that this can help you. Really, really clear about that. My relationships, they're an 8. Could be better because I don't know that I devote enough time to building and sustaining relationships. Talk about that in our business work today. My career and mission, it's at a 9. On fire. Know what I'm supposed to be doing. Have got great goals for the rest of this year for both of my businesses, and we're on it. On it like you wouldn't believe. Loving to be able to report that to you. Next, my hobbies and passions, they're down to a 6. I have had to spend more time in the last week or so really going after these endeavors, and that's dipped. So you know what I'm on this tonight and tomorrow, building that sucker up. And then finding my life's ambitions at a 9+. Really going after that fun and freedom, that big 11 by 17 vision board, if you want to call it that. Really powerful. So with that being said, let's jump right into the 10 needle movers that help you feel, look, be your best. If you don't have the sheet, go to bit.ly/wheel, the number 4, you. Wheel for you. I think that's where it's at. And you'll see, you can download the sheet or go to bit.ly/monthlyhealth, and you'll see a button there to click to get the wheel of perspective. It's a wheel, and it's amazing because it actually shows you, kind of bring it up here for you. It shows you when you fill it out where you're out of alignment. Some people, they get done with this and it looks like an asteroid. Other people, they get done with this and it looks like Star Trek Enterprise. Some people, they get done with this and it looks like a little nugget. Totally fine. It just shows you where you're out of alignment for the things that we know from physiology and production and psychology that really help us feel, look, and be our best. Cool? Here we go. First, we have sleep. How well in the last week, from 0 to 10, have you been getting 7 to 8 to maybe 9 hours, depending on what you need, and feeling fully rested when you get up? 0, what sleep? Didn't get any sleep. 10, owning it. For me, that's a 9. Really been clear on as soon as we got back from Switzerland, getting right back in this time zone. When I feel tired, I rest. That's my rule. Sleep is everything. If I don't, I become Mr. Grump. Do not want to be that for you or anybody else. Next, hydration. 7. Got out of the habit of having my 2 big water bottles with me and brought that right back online. Really, really powerful. Eating. Eating nutrient rich, 80 to 90% of the time. That means no beige foods, essentially. And it means colorful foods like from the rainbow, but not Skittles. So veggies, some fruit, nuts, proteins, like lean proteins, fish, chicken, those kinds of things. How you doing here? Next, exercise. In the last week, how have you been doing with getting sweaty 20, 30 minutes a day? Whether that's out walking, whether that's lifting, exercise, whatever that is for you. For me, 6, dipped. I took a tumble last Sunday, still have some scars. Don't know what that was about. Was running along and I went off on the grass a little bit to pass somebody and it just went poof. So I had to lay low for a couple days. So it's dipped, but I'm back. Yesterday I ran 2 miles and guess what? I didn't fall. I came back to my lady and my girls. I was like, hey, yeah, today I ran and I didn't fall this time. Of course that happened right after my birthday. So people were like, oh, you're getting old, you're losing coordination. I don't think so. I think I wasn't paying attention. Next up, taking breaks. Throughout the day, we know from psychology studies and from self-reported assessing that taking breaks throughout the day, every 60 to 90 minutes, really helps you feel better as you go throughout the last part of your day. So how have you been doing with taking breaks in the last week? Multiple times per day. For me, that's just part of who I am. Built a habit around that. 8. Next, happiness in general. Are you around people that generally uplift you? And are you learning, creating, and sharing positive things with the world? How's that showing up for you? For me, that's an 8. We're here. This week, I've been sharing a lot of our journey in Switzerland, sharing a lot of things with a lot of people, and helping people every day as well. Living very purposefully for me. Feeling very happy about that. Next, finances. How are you doing with auto saving and living within your means? What's showing up for you there? Paying down any debt you might have, not increasing the debt. What's showing up there? Now I teach this, so I feel like I'm very proficient here. 9+ for me. But whatever that is for you, again, if it's below an 8, think about ways to level up. If you don't have any ideas, comment below. I'll direct you to some training that I have that will really help you there. Sound good? Next up, presence. How present, engaged, connected have you been with yourself and with others throughout the last week? What's showing up there for you? You've been on your phone, you should have been looking at somebody right in front of you. Been on your phone when you're traveling and not driving, but like when you're traveling in a passenger car, looking at beautiful nature, being present with it. What's anything there? Next up, purpose. How purposeful have you been in the last week in the sense of living into the way you want to show up and help the world be a better place? Anything there? If you're unclear about what that is, you're going to love it. We're going to train in just a minute because it's going to help us feel purposeful, sense purpose, define what it could even be. At the height of what most high performers in life report, feeling purposeful is not about them as much as it is about helping others. So the common question I ask is, have you been helping others improve their lives or grow their businesses somehow in the last week, depending on what you do? You know, if you're a B2B, business to business kind of company, that would be helping others grow their business. If you're a B2C, business to consumer, that's helping people somehow improve their lives. Have you been living into that? Are you clear about what that is? Pretty cool. And finally, daily plan. From the productivity standpoint, we know that the highest performing people on this beautiful planet of ours have a daily plan. They review it in the morning. They sit and think about how they're going to approach their day. They carve out time for that. Sometimes they do it over their morning coffee. And even the night before, like I do, we engineer tomorrow, how we want to feel tomorrow, what we're going to do tomorrow, how we're going to show up tomorrow. Cool? So with that being said, our second step is training. I'm going to move the cameras over to the whiteboard. We're going to get right into this. We've got right on the 30-minute mark. Perfect. I hope you're enjoying this so far. I'm seeing a lot of people on our Livecast today. I love this. I hope you're having a good one with this today. Let me see if I can get that turned. Almost. Okay, well, it's going to have to do. And let me make sure the camera for the live cast is all set. You know, when you're a one-man show, you got to do what you got to do, right? And there we go. Get that sucker in focus. All set. Rocking it. Okay, so I did my very best job I could I'm drawing you. And I hope I crushed it. Does that look like you? So here's what we know. In the way the world works, if you've read Factfulness, which I gave out to a lot of our Mastery community members, we are living in the best of times ever. Contrary to what's showing up from what the world's pushing our way in terms of media. We have gone from, 85% of people living at a poverty level in the 1800s to less than 5, I believe the figure was. If I'm wrong on that, if anybody's read it, correct me in the comments. So the world is getting to be a better place. Overall, we've got more communication, more connectedness, more reality. Sometimes that can be detrimental about when things are in a bad place or in a bad situation. But here's what I want you to be very careful of. You have all this information. You can see these black arrows pointing at you. The world's putting information in your ears, through your eyes, even through your sense of smell, like pollution or flowers, through what you taste. And the world's producing this for you. And what we have to be incredibly careful of is accepting that information in such a way, or the taste, or whatever it is, that helps us feel better. So let me kind of frame this for you. If you're reading something, it goes back to Marie Kondo's book, The Art of Tidying Up, I think is what it's called. If you're reading something that doesn't bring you joy or uplift you, question why you're reading it. If you're eating something that doesn't bring you joy and make you feel better, question why you're eating it. So I had to reframe what that meant for me. Used to be donuts brought me joy and made me feel better, at least for the moment. But what I realized today, I was eating my vegetable, kale, spinach smoothie shake, because in order to have vibrance, connectedness, and sustainable energy, that's bringing me long-term joy. So that's what I'm eating. Now you're hearing me talk about the senses. What we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're smelling, what we're eating, what we're touching. And I would even say what we're feeling, like emotionally. Does that connect for you? So we have to be very careful about what we let in. Once I got clear in 2006 that I wanted to be a guy of experiences, not stuff, everything shifted. What does that mean? It means that I had to stop paying attention to what the world was sending my way about things that I needed, because I was on the hook. They'd send me stuff from, we had a big motorhome at the time, Camping World, I had to have this, had to have that. There was computers, I love computers. There's all these things that I thought I needed. And just, the reality was, you get those, and then I looked at them all and I'm like, more things to maintain, more things to handle. And I was brought up where you handle and you maintain what you have. Thanks, Gramps. I love that. But I was like, you know what? No. I don't need this boat. I don't need this motorhome. I can rent a boat. I can rent a motorhome. And I'll have a lot less responsibility of things that I have to maintain. And instead of maintaining those things, I can go out and enjoy life and put goodwill in the world. And that was my demarcation line. That was beginning of 2006. When I went through my divorce, I also made the simultaneous decision to get rid of 90% of my things and live a life of stuff. So all of a sudden, the world's information coming to me, I was like, no, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I know how you work because I'm in sales and marketing. They're engineering it to hit those emotions for us, to get us to want it. So my question to you right now is, what are you letting in from the world that's demoting on the long term your joy, your happiness? Maybe making you feel a little crappier. Anything there for you? Conversely, what are you putting into the world that's bringing joy to others, uplifting others? It's helping the world somehow. When I ask a lot of the hundreds of people I've been honored to coach, I've said, what is it at the end of the day that makes you feel happiest? They don't all say the same thing, but the general idea is, I'm helping others somehow in their life. So it's like an element of compassion, that they're really clear about the fact that they're clear that they want to sense and feel that they made somebody's days better somehow. That's the essence. You can read from a lot of the highest paid thought leaders. Brendan Burchard's one. Will Smith, for example. He goes, I have the successes, I have the money, I have all this. At the end of the day, for me to feel happiest, I'm helping others somehow. So if you're not in a space right now where you're helping others, and maybe you're feeling sad, depressed, unfocused, my challenge for you is to consider how you can help others. How you can put goodwill into the world with your cool hairdo. I hope you like that. I thought I'd style it for you. And your fact that you have no hands or no feet. You love my little drawing? So we've got to be clear on two things. This is my challenge for you. And this goes right here. Think about each of your 5 senses. I'll put that in for us. And I want you to think about what is uplifting each of your senses, bringing you joy. Also remember that humans have a negativity bias. Negativity. Bias. So we have to amp the positive side of things 3 to 5 times. You know, there's a reason why when we go down a dark alley, our body isn't like, hey, this is awesome. I feel totally safe. I'm ready to roll. We're like watching out. This is dangerous. Could get hurt. Because we're wired for negativity. Well, neutrality, if you want to call it that. We're wired for survival. Sometimes that can hinder us. I see a lot of this in coaching with people around finances. They're always gloom and doom about, I'm not going to have money. Do you have enough money now? Yes or no, depending on their circumstance. But they're doom and gloom about money. And they're carrying that around with them. And it's robbing them of having a positive, more uplifting, more joyful life. So my question to you is this. What are you letting in from the world that's dampening your positivity? When you think about each of the senses, what are you seeing? So for me, CNN. Can't watch CNN. Stopped doing that many years ago. Instead, what do I watch? I watch YouTube videos that make me laugh. That's my little pocket of relaxation. Like these pranks that are harmful to others. Those are hilarious. That's what I'm doing. My girls and I will watch it. I said, you know, if I measured laugh, thank you, Karen, by the way, the neurohumorist who rocks high performance humor, for helping me understand. I need to laugh more today. So at the end of the day, I would dare you to assess how much have you laughed today? And what are you doing to bring more laughter into your life? More feeling out of your mouth of ha 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 instead of ugh. Cool? Think of your 5 senses. Remember, you've got to amp the positivity to offset this constant push of neutral negative energy that comes at us. Here's the thing we know. People click and read when their negativity button's pushed. That's why the media, if you just look through the headlines only, you'll feel some form of something and it's not usually positive. You know? So we've got to be very clear about what we're letting into our being from the sensory perception. Visual, audio, nose, smell flowers, not toxic, in our mouth, touch, and what we want to feel. You follow? This is priming for what we're going to do on this exercise. And I hope you're picking up on this. So I'd love to know as we pause for a minute, comment below with one thing you're like, you know what? This is not bringing me joy. And I'm seeing this every day. This is not bringing me joy and I'm eating this every day. This is not bringing me joy and I'm smelling this every day. This is not bringing me joy and I'm hearing this every day. What is it? Love to know. Then I want you to say, okay, what's one thing you can sort of amp, or 3 things you could amp, going along this line, to bring more joy in that realm. So for example, if you're like, you know what? I go to my office and it stinks because I got a smoker who sits by me. He doesn't smoke in the office, but I'm bringing the candle in. I want to smell flowers. I've had people tell me that. So they had to create their space of positive, uplifting joy. You follow? That's just in the line of senses, of smell. Pretty cool? Okay. So I'm going to prime the perfect day for you, and then we're going to dive into this really powerful grid. So the perfect day from a high performance perspective goes like this. This is an exercise for you to do. You think about these 4 quadrants of your day, in the morning, in the afternoon, the evening, and the nighttime, and then you think about each of the senses. What you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to smell, what you want to taste, touch. And as I've said down here, what do I want to? How do I want to feel? Does that make sense? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but this is the idea. We get clear on in the morning, what do I want to see? When you first open your eyes, what do you want to see that would just immediately remind you, joy, instead of blah or eh? What is it? What do I want to hear? What do I want to smell? What do I want to taste? Remember, for the long term, for joy and positive to our bodies, right? What do I want to touch? Ooh. What do I want to feel emotionally? So often people are like, you know what, when I wake up, I want to smell coffee. I want to taste coffee. I want to have nice music playing. A couple people that I've coached, Frank Sinatra, Lana Del Rey. Like just music that gets you in the flow for the day, that makes you feel good. Some people, they want to smell a candle, a certain fragrance of a candle, and that ignites them. If any of you are in aromatherapy, you know the power of scent, really powerful. So this is the exercise for you. On your perfect day, in your morning, I want you to journal on each of those 6 things. What I want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and feel, that is the perfect day. Then I want you to shift into afternoon. What do I want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, feel in the afternoon? Now I want to align for you. The feel can be to have felt that I've helped others, to have felt that I've put goodwill into the world, to have felt that I've done something powerful for the human race. You follow? Then do the same thing for evening and nighttime. Pretty cool? Let's see what we got for time. Oh, right on cue. We're talking senses, peeps. What's that mean for you? I'm going to pause and I want you to comment. Please, if you're on, comment. 1 sense, one thing that brings you joy, share it. What is it? Want me to start? Okay, I'll tell you. Thing that brings me the most joy right now is playing, like if I'm sitting, just enjoying life, playing a song by a group from the early 1990s called Tora Tora. And the song is called Guilty. And it's not like a neutral negative song. It's just the rhythm of it, and the guitar stops, because I like to play guitar the way they play it. The bluesy undertone towards the hard rock is everything. Right now it gives me chills when they get in the chorus. I'm like, I want to hear it again and again. I came to terms with that last night. I went on YouTube and I was like, are these guys still playing? And they are. Of course, that's 30-ish years ago when they came out with that. And so the lead singer's voice isn't quite as high. But that's one thing I love to hear. Like today I'll be listening to that, I'm sure, a couple times. You follow? What is it for you? Is it a song? Is it a flower? I was running in the park yesterday and I didn't fall this time. And I smelled gardenias. And I was like, oh. So I kind of ran back like this to go after it again. This is it. Here's what I know. You set your mind on how you want to experience the 4 quadrants of the day in the realm of this. It starts to show up if you put it in play. That's the law of attraction at work. When you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see all that kind of car on the road because your mind's on it. If you put these things in play and your mind's on it, guess what? Those things show up. It's just the way that works. It's so cool. So what is it for you? I want you to ask, what do I want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch in the morning, in the afternoon, the evening, and nighttime? How do I want to feel in the morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime? Engineer your day to that. If you need help figuring this stuff out, that's what we do in high performance coaching. Clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence. Clarity is a big part of this. If you need a book to read, High Performance Habits, Brendan's latest book talks about deciding how you want to feel in advance and aiming towards that ambition. Does that help? So here's what I've learned as I've coached so many people. You have 33 opportunities in the next 30 days to really make positive shift towards these angles. So if you said you wanted to feel better when you woke up in the morning, what would it be? What's the one thing you'd need to do? And let me tell you what it was for me. It was sleep. But changing sleep patterns is a massive behavioral shift for so many people, including me. I used to be the night owl, staying up to 2 to 3 in the morning. My goal was to try for 1 week, going to bed at 10:30, and not just like, I'm going to bed early, but really owning so that I was ready to go to sleep by 10:30. And I did that in 2012, January 2012. By Thursday, that was on a Sunday night I started. By Thursday, I felt so much better. I was like, I'm going to go for another week. Guess what? I never quit. But I knew that I needed that week runway to try it wholeheartedly. So here's the way it works. If you were to do a 30-day jump start, you have 4 weeks, right? Inside that, you have 1 month. And you have 7 days per week. So let me break it down for you. If you need to make a powerful shift like sleep, that might be your goal for the month. My one goal for this month is to simply try going to bed, and maybe you piece it out where it's 30 minutes earlier, week 1, 30 minutes earlier, week 2, 30 minutes earlier, week 3, 30 minutes earlier, week 4. So by the end of the month, you're going to bed 2 hours earlier. Does that make sense? And you can divide them up in goals. So that might be the month goal. Cool. Now, on a weekly basis, what's one thing you could commit to? Put it in as a weekly event in your calendar that would help you along these lines. So we have a lot of fuel from what we've covered today. We can talk about sleep, hydration, eating, exercise, taking breaks, all these kinds of things. So my challenge for you is to think about what's something that's going to be pretty heavy duty for me to trial for 1 week. And it might be exercise. It might be, you know what, I don't walk or run right now. I'm going to try walking every day for the next week. 10 minutes. That's a good goal. So what my point is with this is that we have a lot of opportunity in just the way the grid works of a month. So week 1 could be, I'm going to try exercising a little more. Week 2, maintaining the exercise, could be, I'm going to try eating a little more nutrient rich. I'm going to cut back. For me, that was cutting back on a soda a day, because I used to have 1 to 2 a day. And so I cut back to having 1 every other day. You follow? Week 3, that could be taking breaks. This week, my goal this week is simply to practice taking breaks every 90 minutes. I'm setting a timer to do that. Week 4, that could be along the lines of hydrating more. Just having, like I do, 2 big bottles of water with me, and I'm just going to make sure I hydrate more. So I hope you sense that with a 30-day jump start, if you define that for yourself, you've worked out what you want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and feel in your day. And if your feeling is more energy, here's a grid that can help you. The big month for me, if I was going to do this, my month goal starting on Sunday would be to get more sleep. If I was the old me 10 years ago. My first week goal would be to support sleep. So those 2 things, those 2 pockets would be taken. My month goal is sleep. The first week, all I'm going to do is concentrate on sleep. The second week, I'm going to concentrate on bringing more hydration and reducing the crap that I'm drinking. Now, I have my last soda I ever had was June 30th, 2008. Kind of a freak about dates. But that would be my week 2 goal. My week 3 goal might be to bring, I got to eat a little less of the burgers and fries and pizzas and lasagnas. That was my scene. And I'm going to eat more of the veggies. And I'm lucky that I've always loved vegetables. I just never made it a thing until the last 8 years, 6 years, 7 years, somewhere in there. That may be my week 3 goal, my week 4 goal. If you want bonus extra credit, set a daily goal. Can you see how there's 33 opportunities for you to grow in a 30-day window? And if you do the math, this is actually 28 days. So there's 2 days for you to visualize, plan, and schedule. You follow? And it happens to work out where today is one of those days. Because if you started tomorrow or Monday with your 30-day jumpstart, what would that look like? How could you imagine? So where are we at? In August? September 10th or September 11th. September, somewhere in there. How would you feel different if you just concentrated a little bit? No big shifts, just little subtle shifts over the course of the next 28 days with this. That's the thing. So many people get overwhelmed. And if you see the numbers here, that might be overwhelming. But if you just subtract the numbers and go after the weeks and the month, that's 5 things you're dedicated to. So if you're using Google Calendar or iCalendar, you can set a month-long event. Sleep. And that means me going to bed 30 minutes earlier every week. If you're using Google Calendar, you set a week-long event. More exercise. That means me revving my heart, getting sweaty for 10 minutes. Whether that's burpees, jumping jacks, going out for a quick run or a high-paced walk. Cool. 10 minutes a day, that's it for week 1. You follow how the math works? Can only tell you, I wish I could just, like in Matrix where you plug in, if I could just share with you all the imagery that I have in my head and the things that I've heard from people I've coached around this. That was the game changer. That was the one shift. So in the context for a lot of the neutral, negative, sad energy in the world, they've just said things like, you know what, I'm going to stop watching the news. It's going to be hard because I've been doing that for years and years. So for week 1, no news. But I challenge you to contrast that. I talk about that here. What are you going to watch instead? If you want to watch something, watch funny cat videos on YouTube. Even though our high performance coach, master coach Brendan would say, don't do that. But if you're going to substitute something neutral negative for something positive, cat videos are hilarious. Come on. You're right? Or pranks or whatever. If you need good links for that, let me know. I got some really good ones. Be happy to share those with you. Does this help? Here's the thing. You got to take action on this. If you really want to make change in your life, I've tried to really work it out where we're going after the basics, the senses, how you want to feel. But you could say, hey, Charlie, that's a great idea. Heard it once. Or you can really commit to something now. And my job for you, and what I'm put here on this planet to do after I took some time to sort of figure that out, is to make sure I'm supporting you, caring for you, challenging you to really own this, to go after those ambitions, and to use these sort of hacks, if you want to call them that, of how you divvy up your time. Does that make sense? So a couple other things I want to remember, then we'll dive into our tactics where you leave the session today and you are on it. You got your manifesto, you're ready to rock. First thing I want you to remember is this, the trifecta of happiness. What is that? You may have heard me talk about it before. That's where you're learning something new, creating from what you've learned, and sharing it with the world. The simplest form of that is where you read something that's educational, maybe some personal development, self-help, whatever that is, and you're like, you know what, I just read this chapter, we'll just use high performance habits, on clarity, and I realized I wasn't clear about how I wanted to feel every day. So I let life kind of determine that for me, this. Now I'm clear of what I'm going to put into my head and what's going to come out of my head. I just wanted to share that with you. And you may get a little challenging and put comment below, hey, you know what? What are you committed to, or what are you doing every day to bring positive goodwill energy into your mind? That's it. That's a Facebook update. You learned something new, you created from what you learned, you shared it. But just doing that, people report they feel happier. You follow? So that's the trifecta of happiness in play. The highest performers actually schedule that. In your schedule, you'll see, this is my learn block. From what I've learned, this is my create block. This is my share block. So literally 30 minutes of learning, 30 minutes of creating, followed up by 30 minutes of sharing. That's a 90-minute time block. After that, they take a break. Just want to make sure you see how this plays in the world of high performance. And if you need help with that, I'm here for you. Boy, I'm blessed to serve hundreds, if not thousands now, of people in high performance. We got online group coaching, we got one-on-one, we can do whatever you need to do. Or I can just direct you. Just know you're supported. Know we got a path and a process. And some love and vibrance for you too. Next, the habit loop. Have you ever read the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg? 3 parts to it. Number 1, it's the cue or trigger of a habit. That's the first thing that shows up. Oh, I gotta go to sleep. Don't wanna go to sleep. Then the routine. Do I go to sleep or do I not? Then the reward. I feel rested. Simplest form of a habit is a cue or a trigger, followed by a routine, followed by a reward. The highest performers, when they look at this, they say, is this cue or trigger helping me bring more joy to myself or others, helping me feel better, or is it doing the opposite? That's the reason I don't eat donuts today. Like, but after, the taste was great. After, boy, I felt kind of sloppy and greasy. So the routine and the reward, no. That's why I don't offer donuts to other people. Instead, I'm offering healthy things. You follow? Highest performers also are about cue, routine, reward, about helping others have better lives. You follow? Speed of implementation is the last thing. And what an appropriate thing to end on in light of what we've just covered. That is how quickly, when you hear something that you just intuitively know you need to do, are you taking action on it? If I was to dive into your notes right now, if you're taking notes, and I saw that you already had, based on what we've covered, the month of September or the rest of August scheduled with your goal, that would be living into speed of implementation. The highest performers, the people who have the most success, they're on that like you and believe. Does that make sense? Most people, they hear all this, and like, oh, these are great ideas. Should do that. They don't do it. The highest performers, when they hear an idea, they are taking notes and they may have their calendar open too. And they're like, okay, what's my next 30 days? What's the month of September for me? That's sleep. What's the month of October for me? That's hydration. What's the month of November for me? That is prepping for the holidays. So eating, especially if you're in the US, Thanksgiving. What's the month of December for me? Oh, that's exercise. Because I want to start the new year humming. You follow? Do you have that stuff scheduled in your calendar right now? Be honest. Comment. I do not, Charlie. I think it's a good idea I heard, but I'm not putting it in play. Or, yeah, you know what? I'm committed in September for this. Comment. Let me know. Would love to see. If I can help you get direction on what that can mean for you, like how to set things up for whatever it is you're committed to, I'm here for you. You know that. Rocking it. So I hope all of this helped. As we teach in adult learning theory, it's important to reintegrate what we've just gone over because I know I've thrown a ton at you. It's incredibly important that you're very clear about what the world's throwing at you and what you're accepting from the world, what you're consciously letting the world throw at you. TV, restaurants, ads, whatever. What the senses are that they're hitting, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, what you're feeling, and then what you're actually like touch, feel, and then what you're emotionally feeling. And I want you to assess with what the world's throwing at you, is this information that came in making me feel better or worse? That's why a lot of people I know, they either got off Facebook or they've gone through their feed and said, if you're bringing me neutral negative energy more than 3 times, they mute them. And you can do that. Pretty cool. Big part of that. Remember the negativity bias, so that when you have a negative, especially a bigger emotional negative feeling, it requires 3 to 5x commitment on the positive side to overcome and equal it. Like, that's a tough one for a lot of people. They're like, they grow up with depression and so on. And it's just like, and sometimes they need therapy for that, or they need to be put on some form of medication. Thank goodness for that, for a lot of people. That can really help them level out. But that's the magic there. Next, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime. Journal in each of these 4 areas. What you want to see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And yeah, how do you want to feel? So what is it going to take for you in the evening to feel high levels of energy coming out of a full day work? What do you got to set up there? And if you're just drawing a blank, let me know. Got tons of ideas for you. I could challenge you on them too. Next, remember the trifecta of happiness. This kind of puts things into the high performance realm of helping others. What are you learning, creating, and sharing with others? The habit loop. Cue, followed by routine, followed by reward. The speed of implementation. What are you taking action on right now? Oh, if I could just inject you with some awesome, like, go get 'em juice, it'd be just take action on what we've talked about. Just one action. That's it. Cool? And then the grid. 33 opportunities for change in the next 28 days. You have daily change, that's 7 times 4. If my math serves, that's 28. Then you have a week each, that's 4 on top of that, 32. And then you have the month, that's 33. And if you don't want to do the days, then you have 5 opportunities for change. And you better show it up in your calendar. In the next month, here's my goal. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and yeah, weeks can repeat. So if you're like, you know what, I need 2 weeks to go after sleep. I need 1 week to bump up hydration. I need 1 week to bump up eating nutrient rich. Do it. Pretty good summation for you? I hope so. It's awesome being here with you. All right, next, tactics. Here's where we hit the ground running. What do we got? Woo, right on time. First of all, think through and journal. What brings me joy and makes me feel better in each of my 5 senses? And if you're having trouble with this, contrast. So a lot of times people can tell you what makes them feel worse. Makes them feel like crap. Makes them feel just bleh. So write those things out. And I would challenge you to write them on one side of a piece of paper. And then for every one of those, write on the other side of the piece of paper the opposite of that. And if you need help with that, comment. Because I'll be glad. If you just say, these are all the things that are showing up and I have no idea. My job is to bring ambition to you in that approach. I will gladly go through that list for you and give you ideas. Cool? Next, review, prioritize, schedule. What's one huge change you need to make? We talked about this. Set that for your month goal. What's moderate changes you need to make based on what we've covered here and over here? Set those for weekly goals. What's smaller, subtle changes, like your sort of challenge for the day? Make that daily goals. Like my challenge today is to be more connected with people. I'm going to text 3 people today and just tell them I love them. That's an easy daily challenge. Gratitexts. I think Karen from our mastery community let me know about Gratitext. I love that. Is that pretty good? Review, prioritize, schedule. What does that mean? I better see it in your schedule. If you want to text or email or private message me your schedule and you want me to hold you accountable to it, do it. I'd love to see it and I will hold you accountable to it. I promise. Finally, develop your end of the day assessment. Assessment to test and measure. What do I mean by that? If your goals along this line are to get more sleep, more hydration, more nutrient rich, exercise more, develop your end of the day. All it is this: sleep, hydration, eating, exercise, and there's check boxes in front of each of those. And then a line underscore in front of the checkbox that says where you rate how well did I do today in sleep? 0 to 10. You do that daily. Kind of like we started today. What the shows up? Simple, simple, simple. Easy things, you just take 5 minutes. There's just not a lot going on here in terms of timing. You follow? This is real easy stuff. But the challenge here is whether you're committed to do it or not. So are you committed? Would love to know. So juicy. So good. Finally, bonus. Time block 30 minutes the first of each month to do this. To just walk through this. And if you need a recording of this, if you're not in our master community, let me know. I'll help you understand how that can work. But this recording, I've done this in such a way that just the training part and the tactics part of this are what are going to be on my 30-day monthly needle movers. Because when you're a trainer, guess what? You teach others and you watch your own stuff. And boy, I need to be reminded of this stuff sometimes too. So that all being said, without a doubt, I'm on this planet for one reason. And I call it my 5 Ps. To help you live purposefully, passionately, positively, productively, not getting more work done, as I always say, but getting the right things done. What are the right things? The ambitions, how you want to feel, and profitably too. So that being said, share below one thing you got out of today's session. Would love, love, love to hear it. And I wish you the absolute best in your journey. And for our Business and Internet Monthly Mastery, we're going to forward this conversation into the 9 needle movers. I call it the 3x3 Profitability Power Grid, and I think you're going to love it. So I'll see you there in about an hour. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Goodbye. Happy New Year!